All right, so I'm going to do two things. I'm going to like hit this review really quickly so we can think about the different types of angles that there are. This week is all about reviewing what we learned a few weeks ago with angles. And we're picking that up so that we can like really have this locked in before we start moving on to some more new stuff. We want to make sure that the three things that we've learned over the last 3 weeks um, we're really strong in. So last week was circles because we had done that a few weeks ago, and now we're coming back to angles because we did that a few weeks, like a week after circles. So let's see what we know. I'm gonna go back to the assignment, pull it up. So there are four types of angles that we should be thinking about at any given time. There are only four types of angles. There's the right angle, which looks like an L, and it forms a 90-degree angle. It is exactly 90 degrees. It's not a degree less than or a degree greater than 90 degrees. Um, and so we have a right angle, an acute angle, which is less than 90 degrees, an obtuse angle, which is greater than 90 degrees, and a straight angle, which is flat. A straight angle also looks like a straight line. You could think of every straight line having a measure of exactly 180 degrees. So there are four types of angles. There's the angle that's exactly 180 degrees. There's the angle that is greater than 90. There's the angle that's greater than 90 degrees, which is the obtuse angle. There's the angle that's exactly 90 degrees, which is the right angle. And then there's the angle that's less than 90 degrees, which is an acute angle. So like, let's take that practice and go into this. We have to look at this angle and determine if it's acute, right, obtuse, or straight. I know that it's not a right angle because it is not like forming that perfect shaped L. I know that it's not a straight angle because it's not a straight line. And it looks like it's greater than 90 degrees, so it has to be an obtuse angle. This is an angle that is not less than 90 degrees, so it's not an acute angle. Right now, I think it's a right angle, but I'm just gonna double check. It doesn't look like it's greater than 90 degrees. This looks like these two lines are intersecting at a perpendicular angle, and it's definitely not a straight line. So right angle is the best answer here. We can tell that because this is a straight line, there is no angle to either sides of this. This is a straight angle. And this angle is less than 90 degrees. It's like closed in from being an L. So because of that, we can tell that this is an acute angle. It's not a right, it's not obtuse, it's not a straight angle. That is what it is. Okay, so now we are talking about, so now that we have an understanding of what the different types of angles are, we also have the two differences of complementary and supplementary angles. Complementary angles are angles that have a sum of 90 degrees. So complementary angles are two angles that when you put them together, they total 90 degrees. These are two adjacent angles, meaning that the angles are right next to each other. And if you were to add the measures all the way up, you would get 90 degrees. So when you're thinking about complementary, you need to just lock this in your brain. Complementary means that the angles total 90 degrees. So when you know that angle 1 and 2 are complementary and angle 1 is 54 degrees, angle 2 has to be the number that when added to 54 equals 90. So one way to think about this is I can take everything that I know and I can like use the algebraic or arithmetic method that way. So if I know that complementary angles are supposed to total 90 degrees, I can just subtract 54 from that, and it'll tell me that angle 2 has to be 36 degrees because this has to equal 90 degrees exactly. I'm just going to put 36. Notice that I'm only putting a number. I'm not putting any letters. I'm not putting any words. I'm not putting degrees. This is how you make sure that you get that answer marked correctly. Angle 1 and 2 are complementary. If angle 2 is 30 degrees, what is the measure of angle 1? Again, we know that a 30 plus a number equals 90. So 30 plus a number equals 90. We could take 90 and subtract 30. 90 minus 30, we know that it's going to be 60. So we know that if angle 2 is 30 degrees, angle 1 has to be 60 degrees because when you add them together, they're complementary. They total 90 degrees. Let's keep it going. I think you guys are going to be able to get the hang of this. Angle 1 and 2 are complementary, which means they total 90 degrees. If angle 2 is 45 degrees, we need to find the measure of angle 1. We know that angle 2 is 45. So again, complementary angles, we can say 90 minus 45, and it gives us 45. That means that these two angles are not only complementary, but they're also congruent, which is kind of cool. Meaning they have the same size. Which of the following shows a pair of complementary angles? Now, this is a scenario where you don't have anything visual to visualize, but again, if you remember what you should know about complementary angles, that they should always total 90 degrees, this isn't a problem that's out of your reach. We could go through each and every one of these, and any one that doesn't total 90 degrees, we know isn't an example. 65 plus 65 is 130, definitely not complementary. 45 plus 55 is 100. It's close to 90, but it's not 90, so not a complementary angle. 35 and 55 is 90, so that has to be it. But like, let's just go and double check, because this is something that somebody might make a mistake on later. We have 105 plus 75. Uh-oh. 105 plus 75, which is 180. This is not an example of a complementary angle. This is an example of a supplementary angle. So when we have that in mind, we just have to make sure that we're not like getting confused and marking that one by mistake. All right. So 35 and 55 is your example of a combination of complementary angles. I'm gonna like stop this video and then like leave the next video, put the next video up so you guys can get the same information about supplementary angles.